It's not every day you get the opportunity to purchase Japanese metal at Chinese prices. Well, that is exactly what Honda are bringing to the table with their brand new CB1000 Hornet and CB1000 Hornet SP. I'm Usernamekate, and today I have the chance to ride Honda's brand new CB1000 Hornet SP specifically around the beautiful twisty roads of Spain. Now, I love naked bikes with a passion that burns deep in my ovaries, so I'm super excited to swing my leg over this and give it a ride. Without further ado, let's crack on. Right guys, before I give you my impressions, I just want to do a little walk round of this bike, get right in the crooks and crannies of it, and just show you guys the bike close up so you can get an idea of build quality and what it is actually like. I could insert lots of glossy Honda statics and shots right now, but no, we're gonna get into it, so yeah, let's do that. Right, so here she is, the CB1000 Hornet SP model. So if we have a look at the key element of this bike, at its heart we have a 1000cc 2017 derived Fireblade engine, believe it or not, and the base model produces 150 horsepower at 11,000 RPM and 105 newton meters of torque at 9,000 RPM. Now, because this is the SP version, it makes 155 brake horsepower and 107 newton meters of torque at the same revs, and that is due to a revolutionary controlled, or RC, exhaust valve in the 7.1 litre exhaust muffler. So that stays closed in all gears up until 5,700 RPM, and that's when it opens. The valve opens and just allows the bike to breathe a little bit better, a little bit harder. If we have a look over here at the suspension, again, Honda have not messed around. So for the hardware, we have 41mm Showa split function big piston forks. So these have full adjustability, as you can see up here. Try and get in on this. So we have full adjustability. Now these are the same forks, the exact same forks on the base model, so you don't get cheaper, scrimpier forks. But then where things start to differ, on the rear of this, we have an Öhlins, or an Öhlins, if you want to pronounce it 100% correctly, TTX 36 shock, which is kind of the highest grade of Öhlins shock that you can get before things start getting a little bit electronic, if that makes sense. And that's fully adjustable as well, so we have full adjustability on the front and on the rear. Now on the base model we have a Showa Monoshock Pro Link shock at the back, and that does have just more than preload adjustability. That's adjustable for the rebound as well, which is quite nice. If we take a look at the brakes on the SP, we have 4-piston radially mounted Brembo Stylema calipers, as you can see, and they are on two 310mm discs. Now this is different to the base model because we have Brembos on this, where we have Nissin calipers on that. And the rear brake on this is the same as on the base model. We have a Nissin 1-piston caliper on a 240mm disc. So the SP comes with a quick shifter and auto blipper as standard, whereas on the base model this is an optional extra. But yeah, let's have a proper look at it. So if we look up here, we have that 5-inch TFT dash, which does look pretty. We've got loads of different settings. We can have it in day mode, we can have it in night mode. I'll talk about that as we ride. But on the face of it, just to look at, it's pretty nice. Switchgear, pretty uncomplicated. Certainly not levels of complication like the Africa Twin switchgear or the NT 1100 switchgear, where you actually need a degree to figure it out. But we've got mode, we've got horn, we've got a 4-way toggle here, so that's nice. You've got indicators, they're easy to find. If we look at the levers, we don't have adjustability here, and we do have a bit of adjustability there. The front, this one's been spec'd with a fly screen. How fancy am I? So I've got a fly screen on this. The LED headlights, pretty aggressive looking. These are always on, so they're like the angry eyes with the eyebrows on top. If we follow the lines down, we have a nice skinny waist here, which is great for short-legged humans like me to get your legs down. The tank, 17-litre tank capacity. Again, in the SP, we only have it available in this one colour option. So, yeah, it is black with all the gold accents. The seat is pretty flat, but pretty sharp looking. Again, sharp LED light at the rear, that looks nice. LED indicators. We don't have a single-sided swing arm like we did on the CB1000R, the Neo Cafe version, but we do have these pretty nice spokes. Frame. But no, overall, I think it looks pretty nice. I think it looks quite nice. Anyway, we're going to get to riding now, so I'll see you on the ride. Woohoo! Good lord, Chad. So, wild thing about this bike. The SP model is only £1,000 more expensive than the base model, which is already cheap as chips. So that starts at £8,999, the SP model £9,999. Which is just unheard of. We have not had a naked 1,000 this cheap in forever. So the SP is only available in this colour option that we're all out on today, which is that kind of matte black with the gold forks, gold accents, gold detailing. And then the base model is actually available in 3 different colours. We have white, we have grey, and we have red. Now I'm going to insert some pictures on the screen now so you can see what they look like. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is going to be a good day. I can sense it. Oh, the sound! Blip it down. We've got a blipper as standard with this. Oh, it's fast to charge into bends. Ho ho ho! Hello. Honda have done their best with this to make it quite nosy feeling. Oh, this bike is happy pootling along in 3rd gear at these speeds. Yeah, 3rd gear. I just covered the clutch then just in case. It was absolutely fine. That's good to know. Oh man, it feels so light. What the heck? In sport mode, it's got a very keen throttle. Oh, you can hear that note, that different tone in between 5,000 and 6,000 revs. It kind of just like, wah. I don't know how to do it without sounding like a freak. Wow, it just feels mint. 2nd gear, up the box, smooth as you like. Oh, oh, it sounds good. It sounds spicy. Now, admittedly, in Spain recently I was on the Honda NT1100 launch. That's quite a weighty beast. Then I was recently on a launch with Triumph for the Speed Twin 1200, which isn't that much heavier than this bike. It's a couple kilograms heavier, but by comparison, this bike weighing in at 212 kilograms for the SP model, 211 for the base. It feels so much lighter than that Speed Twin that was on, just like in terms of how it behaves on the road. It's just so quick to move. It's just so light with it. It's got quite an aggressive rake at 25 degrees, so it is just designed to be a little bit of a cornering weapon. Third gear, shift up the box then. Big bus, we don't like that. Oh no, disgusting. Well, third gear, just lapping this up. We don't have self-cancelling indicators, so you've got to remember to turn those off. But we do have those emergency Honda lights, where if you brake really heavy, they come on. Oh, third gear is perfect for these. Okay, that throttle introduction then was a little bit... We got towed in front. You can tell by his man bag. Oh man, it's so sharp to turn. Oh yes! Oh yes! Yeah, it's safe to say handling on this is light and flickable. Honestly, I've heard a few people like worry that the weight of this bike, like saying it's a lot heavier than some of its rivals because of the material of the frame. Nah, it's not noticeable at all. It doesn't feel heavy in the slightest. In fact, ah man, it just feels so flippity floppity, don't stop at it. Oh yes. Oh man, it just floors. The brakes are in. Got stylemas on here. Yeah, brakes are mint. When you really got to just scrub that speed off pretty quick. It's epic. Oh, I do love these roads. I love the flowiness. I love the flippity floppity nature of them. Woo! Oh, that sound is addictive. Brakes are wicked. I bet my backlight's flashing like the clappers. The clappers? Do things flash like the clappers? I don't know. I thought things clap like the clappers. But they'll be going off no doubt because we're flying up some of these tighties. Dropped it down a gear. Second, oh, heavy on the brakes because we're on a little hairpin. Oh yes. Oh, this is another tight one. Third gear laps it up. That is surprisingly interesting. I thought it would not like third gear for those tight things.
On the brakes. Yeah, 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 I seen them flashing. I seen my hazards come on. I love that. I mean, I am a hazard. I'm an almighty hazard, so hazard me up, baby. Toad heavy on it. Heavy on it. Oh, it's tight. It's tight. She's tight. We love it. We love it. We love it. She's also tight here. Oh, big punch out of that. Big punch out of that bend then. She's quite keen. She's a keen thing. Oh, oh, brakes are fantastic. I would be very intrigued to try the base model brake. This looks quite tight, but we're already in second, so it'd be a bit. Oh yeah, see that then? Like if you just try and wind the throttle on a little bit in second gear, oh, it wants to just take you away. But it is in sport mode, so that's showing quite an efficient sport mode that's doing what a sport mode should do, right? Yeah, actually, at low speed, sport mode is a bit twitchy, as I just like found out then. So for any of you guys that are thinking, oh, it's, you know, there's not much different from the CB1000R, that Neo Sport Cafe Sport bike. Well, there's actually a lot different. It's a whole new frame to that. So this is, like, the frame is from the ground upwards on it. Also the engine, that engine was Fireblade derived, but from a 2004 Fireblade, not a 17 one like this. Oh, this is gorgeous views. Wow, wow, wow. Holy shamoly. Oh, this is great. This is absolutely great. Tightens up nice. We love that. I do love a tight bend, you know. Bit of a sicko like that. A seat height of 809mm. I am a 5'4" individual with a 29-inch inside leg measurement. So in different metrics, that is 162 centimeters and 73.66 centimeters on the inside leg measurement. Oh, honestly, I feel like one of the main takeaways from this is how nimble it is and how it just flicks and turns into bends with absolute ease and grace. Like, it's so ridiculously fast turning.
Right everybody, I've just got back in from riding the CB1000 HORNET SP around some delicious Spanish roads today. We have had so much fun, and what it has shown me is that this bike lives up to the hype and the expectation that was placed upon it when Honda announced it. What a fun machine. We have been hooning around today and really like giving it a workout. We've been, you know, proper testing the engine, the throttle, the suspension as much as we can with quite flat roads. But it's been going over some bumps because there are some, they do exist in Spain, and yeah, it's just been showing us how capable it is, especially those brakes at the front. Oh, chef's kiss. Anyway, you can see that I'm kind of elated and overjoyed. So we're going to go straight in to the pros. Now the first pro obviously is the price. What the heck, Honda? How have you brought this to market at just shy of £10,000 and the base model just shy of £9,000? It's absolutely ridiculous. Now it lends the question, is this a part spin special? Is that how they can get it so cheap? And don't get me wrong, we've got the 2017 derived Fireblade engine in this. So, you know, it is using parts that have been used before. Same with the suspension units and stuff like that. They're not totally like new to Honda. I'm sure they've got some stock lying around, which is, I suppose, how they can put this together at such a competitive price. But saying that, the frame is completely new. There are a lot of new aspects to this, the geometry, everything like that. It's not the same as the CB1000 Neo Cafe Sport that was before the Hornet. So yeah, it's built well, but it is built to a price using tried and tested bits from Honda. So in a way, that's kind of a positive because we know they're tried and tested, we know they're reliable, and we know they work. Another pro of this, I have to say, it's one of its best assets or features, the handling. Oh my gosh, this bike is point and shoot. I've never known a bike so nimble. It just changes direction at the slightest input, whether it's a bar or a bit of a weighted foot peg. It just wants to change, and you almost have to like recalibrate your brain a little bit to like make it work with such a fast reaction and a fast change of direction. But when you do, and when you get in the zone with it, oh, it's an absolute missile. It's mint. It's so good. Another pro, that engine is just wicked. 155 horsepower. Not only the engine, but the sound that the exhaust makes when that valve opens at 5,700 RPM. Oh, it's delicious. It just makes you want to keep it in that range though and keep howling it, because it is just a beautiful symphony when you're on the bike, and yeah, it does kind of goad you to want to give it a little bit more though. So yeah, it's beautiful. So the engine and the sound, definitely a pro. Another thing, the levels of customization with this bike, starting at the suspension. We've got a fully adjustable Showa suspension, and we've got a fully adjustable Öhlins suspension unit at the rear. So whether you're heavy, whether you're light, how you like your preference with a hard ride or a soft ride, you can change it to exactly how you like it. And I really, really like that. And the base model's impressive as well, because we've got the same forks, and on the rear we have a Showa shock, a monolink, a Pro Link, and that still is adjustable for preload and rebound. So we're just missing the compression aspect with the base model. So they've not just given it preload adjustability only on the base model. So that's really good in itself, especially for that price of just shy of £9,000. Another thing with customization, the modes. You've got 2 user modes, and you can fine tune them with power, with engine braking, with traction control or Honda selectable torque control, which has anti-wheelie combined with that function. So you can just really fine tune it. And although I didn't film me messing around with the user mode, I did have a bit of a play, and I put power in 1 and I put engine braking in 3, because in sport mode power's on 1 and engine braking's on 1, so it just allows you to like run on a little bit more. There's not so much when you shut off. With 3, with it in the most engine braking, you definitely feel it. You feel it wanting to stop you, and I like that because it's not just a mode for a mode's sake. There is consequences to your changes. You do get different feelings, and I really, really like that. I also like the dash, the 5-inch TFT dash, where you can customize it. In fact, I'll flag up an image on the screen now so you guys can see all the different ways in which you can customize it, because I think it's just brilliant. And then finally, my last pro, quick shifter and auto blipper is standard, and it's as smooth as slug snot. It just goes up and down, no dramas, just puts it in when you want it and just has you ready to attack the road in the right gear. Oh, I just love it. It's been great, and it hasn't done anything concerning or, you know, not quite gone into a gear for me. It's just been seamless this whole time, so that's great. Now, moving on to cons. At £10,000 for the SP model, it would be too good to be true if everything was incredible and mind-blowing. There is something that I do deem as a bit of a con that I would like to point out. Now, when I rode Honda's 750 Hornet, one thing that I did find with it, which was quite annoying, was a bit of a twitchy throttle in sport mode. I've commented on it in my past videos of that bike. And yeah, I mean, the Honda Hornet 750 is clearly doing very well. In 2023, it was the best-selling naked bike, full stop, like not just for its class. It sold the most units. It was flying out of dealerships. And, you know, in my opinion, that had a bit of a twitchy throttle, but it didn't impact sales. And You know, I've met a lot of Hornet owners who don't have the gripes that I have. Maybe they ride it in standard mode and rain, I don't know, but they don't find it a problem. So this might very well be a Kate issue. But I did notice it on this bike, and that was the first thing that I was looking out for, because it's got the throttle by wire or the ride by wire, and that was the same with the Hornet 750, and I found it twitchy, and I find this a bit twitchy. It can just catch you out a little bit if you're not expecting it. Just wind it on a little bit and oh, you go, it's like, oh, that woke me up. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, to me that is a little bit of a con. I did try and ride it in standard mode to see if it would be less twitchy, and although I did find it not as bad, I still found it there. But I will caveat that by saying that we've done some quick riding today, some fast flowy riding, and I haven't noticed it a lot of the time. It's just on the really, really tight corners where you got to slow right down and then kind of wind the throttle on a bit gradually. Sometimes it doesn't let you do the gradual bit, it just is there. Another con, and it's a con that doesn't even affect me, but I'm going to mention it anyway for my big-footed friends. Now, I'm rocking size 4s, very small feet, so it was only when somebody wrote in when I put on Instagram, what do you guys want to know about it? Someone said, I want to know about the foot peg position in relation to the exhaust, because it seems a bit weird. And I was like, what a strange thing to say. Like, I'd sat on it and I didn't think that. Anyway, I was riding this, and with all bikes I jump on, I just stood up on it just to get a feel for it. And by standing up on it and having my ball of my foot more on the peg and my heel back, I did notice that it was resting on the exhaust a bit. And I was like, oh, this is what that chap meant. So I was just trying to ride along with my foot more further back, thinking, what would it be like if I did have size 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s? And yeah, I reckon it might be a bit of a weird position for some of you, but definitely test ride it and see if I'm wrong, because what do I know? I've got size 4 feet. But yeah, when I stood up on it, it struck a memory that someone asked that, and I just thought, yeah, I know what he's saying now. So you'll have to listen to the reviews from the other journalists who do have bigger feet than me, because I can only comment from my experience. But yeah, I know what the chap was saying. So yeah, that's going to be brought up as a con. Another con, in my opinion, well, it's not really a con because it wasn't really a problem, but it's just something for me to tell you guys. So I was riding along thinking, is this a vibey bike? Am I getting vibrations through it? Don't get vibrations through the bars. Love that. With the foot pegs, little tiny bit of vibration, to the point where I wouldn't even notice it if I wasn't thinking, right, I've got a comment about the vibration on this bike. However, Toad from Visor Down, he had his bike equipped with the fancy sport pegs, which is just metal, whereas I've got a little rubber bit, so it kind of dampens the vibes a little bit. He was saying that the pegs are rather vibey with the sport pegs. So Honda are probably going to hate me for saying this, because they're always going to want to put accessories on bikes and upsell bits. But if you get this bike, if I were you, I wouldn't bother with the sport pegs. I'd just keep these, because they're not slippy, they're nice, they're comfy, and they do keep vibrations to a minimum. I've got off this bike, I don't have springs in my fingers, I don't have pins and needles, and that is usually a good test for me as to if a bike's vibey or not. So I would not class this as a vibey bike. A few other little cons, we don't have an IMU with this bike, a 6-axis IMU, but then again, neither does its, in my opinion, closest competitor, the Suzuki GSX S1000S. That doesn't have a 6-axis IMU either, and that comes in at £3,000 more than the base model, £2,000 more than this SP, and that doesn't have an IMU either. Now, did I miss the IMU today? No, I didn't need cornering ABS, cornering traction control. But then again, I didn't do anything today that kind of caught me out a little bit. So I'm glad, because I didn't test that and I don't have to wash my jeans now. But yeah, I didn't personally miss the 6-axis IMU on this bike. No heated grips, but they are an option. No cruise control, but that is not an option. So if cruise control is important to you on a naked bike, then you can't get it on this, full stop. And then I guess a final con, and this is a bit of a epoxy one, is the fact that there's only one colour option. So you better like black and gold, else you're not going to like the SP. And I know how funny some people are about gold forks in this world. Not me, I quite like them, think they look nice, think they look expensive. Some people find them cheap and tacky looking. So yeah, there is that. However, at the price of this, if you wanted to paint it, wrap it, spray it, whatever you want to do, you could get this bike looking completely different from all the other SPs for a total of not a lot of money, if that makes sense. Well guys and girls, that is me done. That is me wrapping this vlog up. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know I've really enjoyed just riding this bike today on some proper smooth tarmac, just living my best life. It's just been wonderful. This bike will do so well for Honda. The throttle on this, it would not be enough to put me off buying one. For the price, everything you get, it's just really good. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if in 2025 this is the best selling naked bike like the 750 was back in 2023. So yeah, good job Honda. I've proper enjoyed this bike. I think it's wicked. I've loved flinging it around. It's proper up my street, nice low seat height. It's kind of like not super aggressive naked bike, but you can still ride it very sportily and very progressively without feeling like you're like this or your back's not hurting and all that jazz. So yeah, it's a very comfy but fast and fun and affordable litre naked. So if I've missed anything guys and you've got questions, please let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you. All right guys, I'll see you on the next one. Take care.